get started. All right. Good morning. I'm calling to order the City of West Palm Beach Special Magistrate Agenda for April 2nd, 2025. My name is Keith Davis. My law firm, Davis & Associates, has been appointed by the city to preside over today's hearing. Please silence your cell phones if you have one on you. Make sure they don't interrupt the proceedings, and that will be appreciated. If you're going to be speaking to me about any of the items on our agenda this morning, whether you're city staff or someone who got a notice to be here at today's hearing or otherwise a witness, I do need your testimony to be under oath, so I need to swear everybody in. I can do that all together. If you'll all please stand, raise your right hands, and I'll swear you in. Do each of you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony in this morning's hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you very much. You can all have a seat. Generally, the way we'll proceed is that we'll take the cases in the order that you signed in and get you guys out of here. Sometimes there's a couple of cases where the city has staff that we need to get on their way as well. So we may take those cases first also. But either way, when your case is called, if you'll please come to the podium over here to my right, and that's where I'll be able to hear from you. But the way I'll handle each case is that first I'm going to hear from the city's code enforcement officers or other witnesses will in all likelihood present testimony to me regarding the alleged violations. There may be photographs that are displayed on the monitors, which you'll be able to see. Once the city's concluded its presentation and made any recommendations to me on how it believes the case should be resolved, I will then come back over to you. It'll be your opportunity to ask any questions about the testimony that you heard. If you don't have any questions, that's fine. You can simply tell me about the case from your perspective. If you have additional photographs or other documents that you would like me to consider, that will be the time to produce those. Once I've heard everything from both sides of the case, in all likelihood this morning I will enter an order that resolves the matter. And so that's generally how we'll proceed. And with that explanation on the record, let's go ahead and call the first case that we're going to hear.
Case number 11, CE 250-13328. Case address 1123 Freshwater Lakes Drive.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Court Officer KT with the City of West Palm Beach. This case was written by a previous code officer that's no longer employed, so I was assigned to this case. The photos of the property were taken by me, which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. The investigation was initiated on January 31st of 2025, citing the following violations. 74-4-C-3, overgrowth, which has been complied. 94-442-C-1, landscaped areas must be grass. 94-442-E, landscaping of swells/parkways. 94-71-C, outdoor storage. And 18-106-A, clean and sanitary. The notice of violation was posted at the property in City Hall on March the 13th of 2025. The affidavit of posting was completed on March the 13th of 2025, and a copy was placed in the file. Certified and regular mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on February the 7th of 2025. The certified mail was returned. I revisited the property on April the 1st of 2025 and observed the property still in violation of the following violations. 94-442-C-1, 94-442-E, 94-71-C, and 18-106-A. Reinspection photos were taken on April the 1st of 2025 showing the remaining violations. They were uploaded to the case. I hadn't had contact with the property owner until just a few minutes ago, who is in agreement and is requesting an additional 60 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Okay, great. And the 60 days, in your opinion, is reasonable, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, the photographs be taken into the record as evidence, barring any objections, please.
All right, yes, testimony in the case file are part of the record. Is 74-4C3 in compliance at this point?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I thought I was following along correctly and got that. Okay. And the city's in agreement with the 60-day request.
Yes.
All right, are you Mr. Bryan?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead and just put your full name and address into the record for me, and then I'll hear from you.
Pardon?
Just go ahead and state your full name and address so that it's in the record.
First name Aaron, last name Brian.
And it's 1123 Freshwater Lakes?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. The floor is yours if you have anything additional that you'd like to add to what the city presented to me already.
Well, not really. When I learned about the violation, we actually went there and addressed things the best we can and talked to the tenant. So since then, from what I spoke to her a short while ago, it seemed like the tenant, placed a lot of stuff outside recently that when she went back, she saw it. But we went over there and addressed, except the new grass that she mentioned. But we did get the tenant and I myself clear up the property as best as we can.
But the 60 days is what you believe you need,
Yes, sir.
and I'm happy to give that to you. That's not a problem. All right. We're going to call 60 days. Call it June 2nd, I guess. Okay, then in this case, I will find proper notice. Mr. Bryan is present, and the city has proper notice documents in its file. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation, except for, as cited, except for compliance has been achieved with City Code 74-4-C-3. I will require compliance with the remaining violations no later than June 2nd, which is 60 days. Failing that, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved after June 2nd. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Case number 10 CE 25023352. Case address 4105 Greenwood Avenue.
Good morning. Code Officer K.T. Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While riding through my zone, I observed several violations at 4105 Greenwood Avenue. I took photos of the property which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on February 3rd of 2025, citing the following violations. The property was cited for 74-4-C-4, trees/hedges obstructing the right-of-way, which has been complied. 74-34-A-1-H, trash can in public view, which has been complied. 78-94, restrictions on planting. 18-106K, landscape maintenance. 94-71C, outdoor storage. 18-106A, clean and sanitary, and pressure washing. 105.1, failure to secure permit. The notice of violation was posted at the property in City Hall on March 13th of 2025. The affidavit of posting was completed on March 13th of 2025, and a copy was placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on February the 10th of 2025. Certified mail was signed for. I revisited the property on April the 1st of 2025 and observed the property still in violation of the following violations: 78-94, 18-106K, 94-71C, 18-106A, and 105.1. Reinspection photos were taken showing the remaining violations. They were uploaded to the case. I have had contact with the property owner, who was asking for an additional 60 days to bring the property into compliance. The city is also requesting the additional 60 days to gain compliance, or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Great, thank you so much. And the 60 days is a reasonable time in your opinion, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so just for some clarity, which ones have been complied with?
74-4-C-4 and 74-34-A-1-H.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the case, the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, and photographs to be admitted into evidence as the record, please.
I did not hear the question.
What was the work that was done without a permit?
There's the fence
The pen, okay.
needs a permit for the fence, yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. Yes, ma'am, if you can put your name and address into the record, and then it'll be your opportunity to ask questions or tell me about the case.
Claudette McFarlane, I actually was paying the bills for my deceased mother, but we are in the process of going through probate lawyer through the city legal aid.
All right, and Ms. McFarland, the 60-day, which is June 2nd, is what you're requesting?
For everything?
Well, for everything that's left, yeah.
Oh, yes.
You've already taken care of a couple things,
Yes,
from
yes.
what I've seen and heard. You had a couple things left.
Okay.
And I'm happy to give you the 60 days to do it.
Thank you.
All right, anything else you'd like to tell me, ma'am?
No, thank
All
you.
right. Then, in this case, Ms. McFarlane is present. City has signed certified mail and it's filed, so I do find proper notice. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation of City Codes 18106K, 9471C, 18106A, and 105.1. I find property has complied with the other code sections that were cited in the original notice. We'll set June 2nd as the compliance deadline for the remaining violations, and daily fines of $100 per day if compliance is not achieved after June 2nd.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Case number 12, CE 250-13303, case address 4101 Greenwood Avenue.
Good morning, Code Officer Weaver again, City of West Palm Beach, Florida. While riding through my zone, I observed several violations at 4101 Greenwood Avenue. I took photos of the property which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on January 30th.
Hold on. Excuse me, I'm
sorry.
just inquiring based on what I observed. Does it need to be interpreted?
I hear that he can understand a little bit, so I can interpret like most of the rest.
Oh, okay, I just interrupted in the event we need to go a little bit slower if you wanted to interrupt.
Understand.
Okay, great, thank you. Go ahead, sorry.
I initiated my investigation on January 31st of 2025, citing the following violations. The property was cited for 74-34-A-1-H, trash can in public view, which has been complied. 94-442-E, landscaping of swell and parkways, which has been complied. 94-71-C, outdoor storage, which has been complied. 18-106-G, painting, which has been complied. 18-106I, Landscape requirements, 18-106A, clean and sanitary / pressure washing, 78-1, obstructing sidewalk, 94-302-A-3, fence permit, 105.1, failure to secure permit, and 110.1, work subject to inspection. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on March the 13th of 2025. The affidavit of posting was completed on March the 13th of 2025, and a copy was placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on February the 13th of 2025. Certified mail was returned. I revisited the property on April the 1st of 2025 and observed the property still in violation of the following violations: 18-106I, 18-106A, 78-1, 94-302-A-3, 105.1, and 110.1. Reinspection photos were taken showing the remaining violations. They were uploaded to the case. I have had contact with the property owner, who is requesting an additional 60 days to bring the property into compliance. The city is also requesting the additional 60 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Okay, great, thank you. And the 60 days is a reasonable time in your opinion?
Yes, ma'am.
We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the photographs taken, and the case file to be admitted into the record as evidence, barring any objections. Please, Special Magistrate.
All right, a couple of questions. Just point me or explain the clean and sanitary violation and the obstructing passage on the street. Tell me.
Well, not
Figure
on the
everything
street, but
else
on the
out, but
sidewalk.
those I'm having trouble seeing what
Clean and
those are.
sanitary would be mainly the pressure washing, and then the obstruction. If you see there's, hold on, stop. In some of those photos, you'll see this is the sidewalk, front of the house sidewalk view. There has been some sod laid in that parkway area, but we need pressure washing, and then there's some areas where you got the dirt and some stuff that are eroding on the sidewalk. I mean, it's minimal, but just needs a little more TLC to come into compliance.
All right, yeah, so I see the clean and sanitary. I'm still not seeing what is 78-1 obstructing passage. What are we talking about?
Well, it kind of goes hand in hand, those two, because like I said, there's still some dirt and erosion in the grass and stuff that needs to just be trimmed and edged better. And like I said, they did do some of it. It just needs to be gone through again, a quick swipe, and then it will be, and keep it that way, and then there's no more issues.
Well, I'm struggling with City Code 78-1. What you've cited is it shall be unlawful for any person to obstruct or hinder the free flow of pedestrian or vehicular traffic on any street, sidewalk, or bicycle path. I haven't seen anything that shows that pedestrian vehicular traffic is being impeded. I need explanation or
Okay, well, if that one, the vehicular or pedestrian or whatever, then we could strike that one, because it will still go with 18106 and everything. So we can strike 78-1.
All right. Anything else from the city?
No, sir.
All right. Yes, ma'am, if you can put your name and address into the record, and then you can tell me about what's going on with the case. Might need to probably get the microphone down a little closer so I can, there you go.
My name is Anoja Kamaniwong, and my address is 4101 Greenwood Avenue in West Palm.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there anything else that you would like to tell me about the case?
Also, the city give me allow sitting for clean up, for make the grass outside, make the fan, and I do everything, but now I need more time because they want me to move the lock on the driveway, something like that. And then I didn't know that because that one they put before I buy the house.
Okay.
It's very long time, maybe 15 years or something like that. But I follow the paper, everything. Also, just the lock, I don't understand. That's very long time for that problem.
Well, looks like you've already done a lot of things. You've already fixed a lot of things.
Yeah, they give me a lot.
I'm happy to give you the additional 60 days to finish this up.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with that. It looks like all that's left really is let me ask the question, the landscape requirement, I'm assuming that's those pavers in the.
That, and then there are just a few bare spots. Like I said, they took care of most of the outer perimeter, the Swell Parkway area. They sodded all of that. There's just a few more little areas they can either sod or put seed, within the 60 days. If they water it, they'll sprout up. But she has done a lot. Yes, sir.
Okay. So a little bit more of the getting them sod in the right places, and then pressure washing the sidewalk and getting the new fence permitted and inspected. I think that's all that's left.
Right in the papers, yes, sir.
Has a permit been applied for yet?
I don't. She was up here the other day, and I know she'd spoken with a permit specialist. Other than that, I don't know. I haven't spoken to her other than this morning since then.
Probably getting the permit for the fences. You want to make sure you get that going so that you get that done well within the 2 months that we're going to set for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions or anything else you'd like to tell me?
No, I just fix the fan around, and then I didn't know that I have the permit before.
Okay.
I just fix the broken or something like that.
I understand. You get it taken care of now, though, and it'll be okay. All right. Okay, so in this case, city has proper notice, respondent is present, you have the proper notice documents in the file. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find that property remains in violation of city codes 18106L, is that L or I? I.
Yes, sir.
Sorry. 18106A, 94302A3, and 105.1, I'll find the property has complied with all other code sections that were cited. Set June 2nd as the compliance date for the outstanding violations, and daily fines of $100 per day until compliance is achieved after June 2nd. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Case number 7, CE 240-92734, case address 203 Alpine Road.
Good morning, Sunny Ben, City of West Palm Beach, Code Enforcement. This property was cited on September 18, 2024. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on November 27, 2024. Certified mail was sent on November 27, 2024. I received several telephone and email complaints from neighbors about the condition of this property. During my initial inspection, I observed multiple code violations, including areas of the roof and fascia board in disrepair, trash can in public view, outdoor storage such as cardboard, pavers, plastic containers being stored near the garage area, and what appears to be mildew present on the exterior structure and the fascia board. The property was previously cited on August 9, 2023, and was subsequently brought into compliance. The owner had plans to renovate the property, but those renovations never took place, which brought us today's hearing. The property was cited for the following codes: 18103B, 7434A, 1H, 9471C, and 18106G. Excuse me. The photos presented today are accurate and depict the cited code violation. I have made contact with the property owner and also her general contractor. To date, the property remains out of compliance for all code cited. A stalker permit has been obtained to address the exterior structure violations. The contractor is actively working to resolve all code issues. However, he also agrees with the city recommendation. The city is requesting an additional 60 days for the property to gain compliance, or $200 per day until compliance is achieved.
And you stated that you did have contact with the general contractor and the owner, and they're not coming today?
Well, when I spoke to the contractor, he told me he would be here today, but he's not.
Right, that's what I thought, but, and you believe the 60 days is a reasonable amount of time?
Correct.
Okay. Nothing further at this time. Special Magistrate, we're asking for the Code Enforcement Officer's testimony, the photographs, and the case file to be admitted in the record as evidence, please.
All right, testimony in the file, including photographs, are part of the record. Is there anybody here on behalf of the respondent? There is not. However, the city has proper notice with certified mail and posting contained in the file. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation as cited, and I will grant the relief requested by the city.
Thank you.
That was everyone that was present on the agenda.
So it's two cases. So it's 203 and 215. Same owner.
Okay.
So that's
But
item
they're
number
not
8.
here. They're not here, correct?
No.
Can you call 250, the case, please, number 8?
Okay. Case number 8, CE 240-92735. Case address 215 Alpine Road.
Sonia Bin, City of West Palm Beach, Code Enforcement. This property was cited on September 18, 2024. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on November 27, 2024. Certified mail was sent on November 27, 2024. I received several telephone and email complaints from neighbors about the condition of this property. During my initial inspection, I observed multiple code violations, including areas of the roof and fascia board in disrepair, visible trash can, prohibited sign attached to a tree in the swale, and appearance of mold on the exterior structure and fascia board. Additionally, the front door appears to be rotten and broken in multiple areas. These concerns create a potential haven for rodents and other vermin, which present health and safety risks for the neighborhood. The property was also cited back in August 9, 2023, and brought into compliance. Like I previously stated, the owner had plans to renovate the property, but those renovations never took place, which brought us today's hearing. Now, the property was cited for the following codes: 18103B, 7434A1H, 18106G, 18105E, and 94402B211. The photos presented today are accurate and depict the code violation cited. I have made contact with the property owner and general contractor. To date, the property remains out of compliance for all code cited. A demolition permit application was submitted, but the permit has not yet been obtained. The contractor also agreed with the city recommendation. The city is requesting an additional 90 days for the property to gain compliance and to obtain demolition permit, or $200 per day until compliance is achieved.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the Code Enforcement Officer's testimony, the photographs, and case file to be admitted into evidence as the record, please.
All right, is there anybody here on behalf of the respondent? There is not, but the city has proper notice with the notice documents contained in its file. testimony and the file and photographs are part of the record. So we're expecting this is just going to be a demo.
Correct, 215.
Okay. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I do find the property remains in violation as cited. I will grant the relief requested by the city. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Case number 1, CE 250133331. Case address 2619 South Street.
I'm sorry, tell me again which agenda item this is. Number 1, starting at the top. All right.
Hey, good morning, Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. During routine patrol, I observed cars obstructing the street and sidewalk right-of-way at 2619 South Street. I initiated my investigation on January 29th of 2025, and this property is occupied. The property was cited for the following violations: 78-1, obstructing the right-of-way; 18106A, trash and debris; 9471C, outdoor storage; 82-144, business license, not having a business license; 22-32A, to obtain a certificate of use; and 22-441, not having a rental license to rent out the space to the business. Also 78-6, the address characters were not the correct numbering. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. That notice was noticed by certified and regular mail on February 5th of 2025 by the city's clerk. I revisit the property on March 20th, 2025, and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code section: 78-1, obstructing the right-of-way; 18106A, trash and debris; 9471C, outdoor storage; 82144, business license not obtained; and 22-32-A, obtaining a certificate of use. The other two violations were complied. 22-441 is complied. 78-6, address characters, is complied. I posted the notice of violation at the property and City Hall on March 20th of 2025, and an affidavit of posting was also completed on March 20th, 2025. I took the photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property. The photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violation I observed during my investigation. While traveling through the zone yesterday, April 1st, 2025, I passed the property as well, and the violations are still there. However, I did not take photos. I was only passing through. The property owner is not present, but I made contact with the property owner on March 17, 2025, in person at City Hall. During the meeting, we discussed all the violations and this hearing date. I also had a conversation with the business owner on March 20th of 2025 and explained all the violations to him as well. The city is asking for an additional 30 days to comply. If no compliance, a daily fine of $150 per day.
Great, thank you. And 30 days you believe is a reasonable amount of time?
Yes.
Great. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, and the photographs taken to be admitted into the record as evidence, please.
All right, the city's case file, photographs, and the testimony are part of the record. Respondent is not present, but the city has proper notice with certified mail and posting in the file. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation as cited, with the exception of compliance with 78-6 and 22-441, and I will grant the relief requested by the city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Case number 2, CE 2502-3386, case address 732 Tolkasola Street.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. The property at 732 Tuscaloosa Street was cited by a previous officer. I am taking over the case for that officer, but I did observe the same violations at the same time that officer observed the violations, so I can testify to what took place at the property. On February 6th, the property at 732 Tuscaloosa Street was cited for trash can placement, address characters, not the right contrast, matching the paint of the property, cannot be visible from street, clean and sanitary, trash and other items scattered throughout the property, farm animal and fowl found on property. There are 2 big turkeys being housed on this property, as well as several chickens. Landscape maintenance. There are bare areas throughout the property that has no ground cover or sod. And tree abuse. There is a camera that is screwed in on one of the trees. Items cannot be nailed or screwed to a tree, so that camera will need to be removed. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted March 26th. Certified mail as well as regular mail was sent out February 10th. Certified mail was signed for March 25th. As of yesterday, the only violation that has been complied on this property is the trash can placement. With that being said, city's recommending 60 days to bring the property into full compliance, or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Great, thank you. And have you had any contact with the property owner or anyone?
None.
Okay. But the trash can has been complied, and do you know if the notice has been removed from the
Yes,
property?
I did leave the notice. As you can see, it's on the fence. I went back yesterday morning, that notice was gone.
Okay, great, thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the photographs taken, and the case file be admitted into the record as evidence, please.
The testimony and photographs in the city's file are part of the record. Can you show me the photograph about the tree abuse?
So keep scrolling.
I'm trying to wrap my head
You'll
around it.
find. If you keep scrolling, you'll see the camera that's attached to the tree. As nothing can be screwed or nailed to a tree. It's there. Right there. There it is. That's a camera.
So the city's position is the damage is caused by the...
By the screwing or the nailing into the tree. That's the abuse. There it is again.
I gotta be honest, I'm struggling with that one.
I'm not sure why you're struggling with that, because you're causing damage to the tree by inserting screws or nails into it.
Respondent is not here. I am going to find proper notice. given that there's no contrary testimony, I will find that the greater weight of the evidence supports the city's position. I will find property remains in violation as cited and grant the relief requested by the city. But I gotta tell you, man, if somebody showed up, I've done worse to a tree in my backyard. I was told by people who know trees that drilling a hole into the side of a tree and does not damage the tree. So
I mean,
my point is, if somebody was to push back,
I get it.
we would not have found that to be in violation. I mean, screwing a little thing in. I'm going to give it to you though, because there's nobody.
Magistrate, the thing is that type of abuse is written into the violation.
I would just.
Yeah, I'm just saying this there.
If somebody was to push back, I'm not sure I would give you that one, but somebody was pushing back, so I'm going to give it to you and grant the relief that you requested.
Thank you.
All right.
You're welcome.
Moving on.
Case number 3, CE 24112-982, case address 418 16th Street.
Good morning. Jesus Mendiola, City of West Palm Beach, Code Enforcement. Sorry. I received a complaint on 418 16th Street on November 7th, 2024. The property was occupied. The violations discovered upon inspection were 18-97-1. The kitchen sink was loose and needed to be in a good working condition. 18-105-B. There was a damage on the roof that needed to be repaired that was causing leaks inside the home. 22-32-A. Certificate of use was required for the rental license. 18-96-C. The bathroom needed a ventilation. 94-302-A-4. There was a fence that needed to be repaired. 22-441. Rental license required. 18-106-E. Exterminate for rodents and bugs. There were a lot of termites droppings in the kitchen. 94-446-2-B. Tree trimming in front of the house. 18-106-A. Clean and sanitary. 18-103E. Condition of structures, the windows, which has to do with the roof leak as well. 18-102-3. Provide window screens. 94-302-A-3. Fence permit if needed. 74-4-C-5. Dead vegetation. 18-106-Z. Paint the exterior. 18-103 was the interior wall, floor, and ceiling, which also has to do with the leaks and also some flooring that was damaged inside the home. The property was cited on November 12, 2024. Certified and regular mail were sent on November 14, 2024. It was sent to various of the agents for the LLC. Some were signed, some were returned. The notice of violation was posted at the property in City Hall on March 17, 2025. I completed the affidavit of posting. The photographs taken accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed. I've been in contact with the property manager, Will. As of yesterday, the property is still in violation of 22-32-A and 22-441, which is the rental license. The city is asking for 15 days to gain compliance or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Okay, great, thank you. And the 15 days is a reasonable amount of time to get the rental license and COU?
Correct. I also did the rental inspection yesterday, and everything was complied. They just need to submit the affidavit of a landlord agreement, and then it has to be printed. They already paid their fees and submitted the application, so it should by the end of the week should have the rental license.
Okay, great, thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the photographs, and the case file to be accepted into the record as evidence, please.
Okay, respondent is not present. City has proper notice with the posting following the return of certified mail. The city's case file, photographs, and the testimony are part of the record. And I'm sorry, I was having a little hard time hearing it. So the only things left are the certificate of use and the business tax and license. Everything else
Correct.
is complied?
Yep.
That's what I thought I heard, but I wasn't 100% sure. Just wanted to be. So then, based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find property has complied with everything that was cited in the original notice, with the exception of City Codes 2232A regarding certificate of use and 22441 regarding license and business tax for rental dwellings. I will grant the relief requested by the city.
Thank you.
Case number 4, CE 250-13237, case address 2100 North Australian Avenue.
Good morning, Sandy Mills, Code Compliance Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. Property address 711 46th Street was cited on March 3rd, 2025. It was due to a complaint by the tenant. Service was accomplished by both regular and certified mail sent on March 3rd, 2025. Certified mail was left with someone on March 5th, 2025. In addition, both the property and City Hall were posted on March 21st, 2025. I have been in contact with the owner of the property. The property was cited for 18-103-I, and this is providing equipment not in working order. So this is in regards to the AC unit.
Okay.
My first contact with the complainant, which is the tenant, was on the 21st of February 2025. He informed me as to the case as he was having AC issues on and off since the ending of last year, and he provided me with the service, the company who came there to check on the AC. I contacted the AC company, who verified that the issue with the AC was actually the motor, and they basically told me they were in dialogue with the owner in regarding how to rectify the situation. I called the owner, left a voice message letting her know that the complaint came in to me and I'm aware of everything that's taking place. I decided to let it stay for a little bit just to give them some time. When I checked back on the 3rd of March, nothing was done about the AC, so that's when I did the case. I basically left, March. All right, so after I did the case, the owner contacted me via voice message on the 6th of March saying that the part was ordered. After that, nothing happened. I contacted her on the 19th and informed her that just a reminder that the compliance due date is on the 21st, and she said she's waiting on the parts, and I informed her to contact the company because the part was already ordered and waiting. Nothing happened still. Still on Monday, I contacted the company once more to verify what was the holdup, and they told me that she decided to go a different route in getting the whole thing done. Yesterday, the 1st of April, I went to the property just to verify that the AC was not working. Went through, troubleshooted, basically turned on the unit just to see if it would do anything. Checked the vents to see if any air was blowing or anything. Still not working. So as of yesterday or this morning, the property still has not come into compliance, so the city is requesting an additional 12 days or $300 a day thereafter if it's not achieved.
So forgive my ignorance. So under code, and I haven't looked at 18-103, we require everyone to have an AC unit in their property?
No, we do require that the equipment that is provided when the rental was initiated be in working order.
Okay, so it's under the rental license requirements? Is that where we get the?
That is correct. Whatever is provided must be in working order.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the photographs and the case file to be admitted into the record as evidence. And forgive me, you said 12 days or how much fine?
12 days, $300.
$300. Thank you so much. Nothing further.
City's case file, photographs, testimony are all part of the record. The respondent is not present, but the city has proper notice, and I do find proper notice. Based on the testimony and the evidence, property remains in violation as cited, and I will grant the relief requested by the city.
Thank you.
Case number 5, CE 250-13237. Wait, I called that already. My bad. North Australian Avenue. Sorry.
Good morning, Don Williams, Code Enforcement. I cited this business, CSC Services Work, Inc., for a business tax receipt. I cited this on January 22nd of 25, code section 82-144. They had a previous license, but that license expired September 30th of last year. Certified mail, regular mail sent out January 22nd of 25. City Hall was posted March 21st of 25. I also hand delivered a copy to the property manager on 3/21/25. Contact not made with the business owner, but again, the property manager at Lake Mangonia Apartments accepted the violation. My recommendation is 15 days to comply or a one-time fine of $250.
And what business is it? It's a
CSC Services Inc., they actually run the corn laundry at that location.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file to be admitted into the record as evidence, please.
The city's file and the testimony are all part of the record. Respondent is not present, but the city has proper notice with the notice documents contained in the file. Based on the evidence, find the property remains in violation as cited and grant the relief requested by the city.
Case number 6, CE 250-13236. Case address 1805 North Flagler Drive, 309.
Don Williams, Code Enforcement. The property located at 1805 North Flagler Drive, unit number 309, was cited for a rental license. I cited this property January 22nd of 25, code section number 22-441. I'm sorry, I also cited for certificate of use, which is also code section 22-32A. That has no previous history of a business tax or rental license at that location. So this will be the first time for a rental license. Certified mail and regular mail sent out January 22nd of 25. City Hall and the property posted 3/15 of 25. Contact was made with the owner. They're in New York, so their attorney here locally is representing the property. He's in the process of getting that license. So I'm going to afford him another 15 days to do so, or a fine of $100 per day.
How many days?
15.
15.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, great. And you said they're filed for submitted an application for
The attorney
a
has,
rental
yes.
license. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file to be admitted into the record, please.
All right, the city's case file and the testimony are part of the record in this case. Respondent is not present. The city has proper notice with certified mail and posting in the file. I do find property remains in violation as cited, and I grant the relief requested by the city.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Case number 9, CE 250-23399. Case address 840 44th Street.
Good morning, Code Officer KT Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While riding through my zone, I observed several violations at 840 44th Street. I took photos of the property which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on February the 11th of 2025, citing the following violations. The property was cited for 94-487-B-1, remove prohibited vehicle, which has been complied. 94-442-C-1, landscaped areas must be grass, which has been complied. 94-442-E, landscaping of the Swell Parkway area, which has been complied. 94-482-A, required off-street parking, which has been complied. 78-96, the numbering standard. And 74-4-A-3, garbage, litter, and refuse. 18-106A, clean and sanitary / pressure washing. 82-144, business tax receipt, either renew or pay their delinquent. The notice of violation was posted at the property in City Hall on March the 13th of 2025. The affidavit of posting was also completed on March the 13th of 2025, and a copy was placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on February the 21st of 2025. The certified mail was signed for. I revisited the property on April the 1st of 2025 and observed the property still in violation of the following violations: 78-6, 74-4-A-3, 18-106-A, and 82-144. Reinspection photos were taken showing the remaining violations. They were uploaded to the case file. I received a voicemail on this morning from the property owner with a message stating that the property, they had come into compliance with the property and asking me to go by, which I did on yesterday. I tried to call the owner back this morning, but received voicemail. The city is requesting a split order, 15 days or either 15 days or $250 for the 82-144 business tax. They have been expired or delinquent since 9/30 of 2023. And the additional 30 days or $100 a day for the other violations that are outstanding.
Thank you. 30 days or 150, you said?
Yes, no, 100.
100, sorry.
Yes, that's okay.
Okay. And you believe the 15 days for the business tax receipt is reasonable?
Yes, ma'am, they just
And
need to pay them.
Yeah, they've been delinquent for a couple of years.
Yes.
Or, yeah, going to be a
Yes.
couple of years.
2
And
years,
30
yes.
days for the others are reasonable time?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. We request the code enforcement officer's testimony, case file, and the photographs be taken into the record as evidence. Please, Special Magistrate.
Thank you. The city's case file, including photographs and the officer's testimony, are part of the record. Respondent is not present, but the city has proper notice with the signed certified mail contained in the file. Based on the testimony and evidence, I find the property remains in violation of City Code 78-6, 74-4A3, 18-106A, and 82-144. And I will grant all the relief for all the outstanding violations as requested by the city.
Thank you.
Case number 13, CE 250-23371. Case address 1127 Freshwater Lakes Drive.
I was assigned this, Code Officer Weaver, the City of West Palm Beach. I was assigned this case from a previous code officer. The initial investigation was on February the 6th of 2025. I went out and I took photos of the property, which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. The following violations were 74-4-C-3 overgrowth, which has been complied. 94-302-A-4 fence wall maintenance, which has been complied.
Which one was that?
The 94-302-A-4, the fence wall maintenance.
There it is. I got it. Okay.
Yes, sir, been complied. 18-106-I, litter, trash, and debris, which has been complied. 74-34-A-1-H, trash can in public view. 94-442-C-1, landscaped areas must be grass. 94-442-E, the landscaping of the swelling parkways. 94-71C, outdoor storage. 18-106-A, clean and sanitary. 74-4-C-5, cleaning up the center of the adjoining right-of-way. 78-6-1, address characters. The notice of violation was posted at the property in City Hall on March the 13th of 2025. The affidavit of posting was completed on March the 13th, and a copy placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on February the 7th of 2025. The certified mail was returned. I revisited the property on April the 1st of 2025 and observed the property still in violation of the following violations: 74-34-A-1-H, 94-442-C-1, 94-442-E, 94-71-C, 18-106-A, 74-4-C-5, and 78-6-1. Reinspection photos were taken on April the 1st of 2025, showing the remaining violations, and they were uploaded to the case. I have spoken to the property owner. The city is requesting an additional 60 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
And the property owner is in agreement with the 60 days?
Yes.
Thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the photographs we've seen, and the case file to be admitted into the record as evidence, please.
City's case file, including documents, photographs, and the officer's testimony, are part of the record in this case. Respondent is not present, but the city has proper notice with the posting following the return of certified mail. I will find, based on the testimony and the evidence, the property remains in violation as cited, except for compliance with 74-4C3, 94-302A4, and 18-106I, and I will grant all the relief requested by the city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
And that concludes all the notice of hearings on the agenda.
All right, so we're finished with the 9 o'clock agenda. When do we reconvene? At 11? Okie dokie, we will go off the record until then, 11:30. Are we live and on the record? Yep, okay, let's reconvene. We have the other matter agenda for the City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Division. Still April 2nd, but it's 11:40 in the morning. My name is Keith Davis with the law firm of Davis and Associates, which has been appointed by the city to preside over these hearings. It looks like we have 6 items and sort of grouped into 3 groups of 2, either by property address or owner or both. I guess first of all, let me swear everybody in who's going to be talking to me at this hearing. If you're going to be presenting any testimony or evidence, please stand, raise your right hand. Each of you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury your testimony at this afternoon's and morning's hearings will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you. You can all have a seat. Let me ask the city, of the 6 cases that we have, do we have any stipulated agreements?
We do.
I'd like to do those first and get those folks
Sure.
out of here.
Well, we have on agenda items 16 and 19.
Okay. Let's take agenda items 16 and 19 together first.
Case number 16, CE 22050-211, case address 941 Allendale Road.
Good morning, City Code Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach. Agenda item number 16, case number CE 22050-211, case address 941 Allendale Road. This case was originally cited May 18th, 2022. They were cited for broken windows. This went to a special magistrate hearing on July 20th, 2022. It was ordered for the fine to start as of September 6th, 2022. This ran for 938 days at $50 a day for a total of $46,900. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting and regular mail. We do have an agreement, magistrate, through the city administration to reduce this fine to 5%, which would be $2,345, payable within 30 days.
Okay.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that total again?
Say that one more time, sir.
Could you repeat the total?
It was $2,345.
Case number 19, CE 19070-243, case address 1003 Allendale Road.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. Agenda item 19, case number CE 19070-247, case address 1003 Allendale Road. This case was originally cited July 12th, 2019 for repairs needed to be done to the roof, trash and debris on the structure of the property, and also business tax receipt required and certificate of use. This went to a special magistrate hearing August 21st of 2019. It was ordered for the fine to start as of November 21st, 2019. It's ran for 2,387 days at $200 a day for a total of $456,000. The service in this case was achieved by way of posting as well as regular mail. Again, we do have an agreement through our city administration to reduce this fine to 5% of the lien amount, which would be $22,800, also payable within 30 days.
Okay.
80 days, correct?
30 days?
30 days, sorry.
Anything else from the city?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. If you'd like to tell me your name and address, and then I want to make sure you're in agreement with everything the city said in terms of the...
Yes, sir. My name is Austin Lowry. I work as an agent for the Episcopal Diocese of Southeast Florida, and my address is 300 South Australian Avenue, number 1003, West Palm Beach, 33401.
All right. Yes, sir.
We do agree.
All right.
Yes.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell me while you have the floor?
No, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. Then, to the extent required, I do ratify and approve the stipulated agreement.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
sir. Thank you. Good luck.
Sir? Case number 17 and case number 18. Case number 17 is CE 230-80409.
I'm sorry, which agenda item did you call? I apologize.
17 first.
17.
I believe 17 and 18 are the same.
Correct, and there
individual?
was one that was left off there, so there's 3 total for 732 West
Okay.
Lakewood.
Do we have the information for that?
Do you want to hear them all together or individually?
I only have 2, so the other one's going to have to
No,
wait.
to the extent they're the same address and same owner, I want to take them all together.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
All right, ma'am?
So we have agenda items 17 and 18. Is that what we're?
Correct, yes, sir.
Okay.
And then there was a third case, third lien that was mistakenly left off. I can give you that case number.
Was it
if
noted that
needed.
we, in terms of the city's paperwork and requirements, can you add it? Can we add it to the agenda and take care of it?
Sure.
Yeah, so go ahead and put them all on the record at this point.
Sure, okay. So let's start with agenda item
May I
17.
If I may
Oh,
interject,
excuse me.
the issue is going to be with the order. They may not get the order with all the case information.
Okay.
May I inquire, Jody, is it 2 separate orders that you have, or 1 order that lists both properties?
I only have 2 separate orders, and they each list each property individually. I don't have the third one.
We may want to put it on the record to give her the
Sure.
case number, so you can add it to one of those orders.
Correct.
Do you want me to do that case first then? Or do you want me to just send her that information?
Because they get the orders before they leave,
Correct.
it'll probably have to be done now.
Okay, that's
Okay,
fine.
thanks.
That's fine. We can do that one. So let's start with that one. That's case number CE 040-50674. Same case address, 732 West Lakewood Road. This case went to a special magistrate hearing May of 2004. They were cited for landscape maintenance, outdoor storage, trash and debris, inoperative vehicle, as well as fence repair and paint needed to the exterior structure. This went to a special magistrate hearing August 18th of 2004. It was ordered for the fine to start as of October 2nd, 2004. That ran for 137 days at $50 a day for a total of $6,850. And this was brought into compliance February of 2005. Service in this case was achieved by way of certified mail. It's done under the same owner, 21 cases under their ownership with code enforcement. So the city requests a reduction of 25% of the lien, which would be $1,712.50.
Okay.
Okay, now moving on to agenda item number 17. Case number CE 230-80409. Same case address, 732 West Lakewood Road. This case was initiated June 18th of 2022. They were cited for landscape maintenance, roof repair, garage door needed to be repaired, clean and sanitary conditions, as well as overgrowth of the yard of the property. This went to a special magistrate hearing September 20th, 2023. This ran for 88 days at $250 a day for a total of $22,000. Was complied on March 18th of 2024. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting as well as regular mail. Again, same owner, 21 cases with code enforcement under their ownership. So the city requests a reduction of 25% of the lien, which would be $5,500. for agenda item 18, case number CE 220-60230, case address 732 West Lakewood Road. This case was cited June of 2022. They again were cited for different repairs needed to be done at the structure, clean and sanitary conditions, and repairs needed to be done on the home. This went to a special magistrate hearing August 3rd of 2022. It was ordered for the fine to start as of September 6th of 2022. This ran for 170 days at $150 a day for a total of $25,500 and was complied February 23rd of 2023. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting as regular mail. Again, same owner, 21 cases with code enforcement under their ownership. So the city requests a reduction to 25% of the lien, which will be $6,375.
Couple of clarifying questions on the 2022 case that you just read. First, the agenda that I have says the balance due was $39,675. You testified it was $25,500. Is the agenda incorrect?
The agenda might be correct. Give me 1 second. Let me just verify that. Yes, the agenda is correct. I apologize. That amount is right. $39,675.
So the agenda is in error, the agenda is correct?
The agenda is correct.
Okay. So you're still recommending a reduction of no more than 25%. What would that, what's the?
That would be $9,918.75.
Okay, and then the agenda lists that one of the violations was 18106N regarding pools and spas. Was that an unsecured pool in the original violation?
That was an unsecured pool, but it looks like there were trash and debris in the pool. And I guess the fence had been broken, which they did repair. So it looks like that code section did eventually comply.
How long was that one in out of compliance?
Looks like that was out of compliance for a good while. Looks like about 10 months that was out of compliance.
Was it how much? How long?
About 10 months.
It was the full 170 days that it was in violation?
No, they complied that prior to the entire case. The rest of the violations coming into compliance.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Sure.
All right. And then can you verify the same owner for
Correct.
all three
Yes, sir.
cases when the cases came to hearing and today?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. Ma'am, the
Can I
floor is
explain?
yours. Please put your name and address into the record, and then the floor is yours.
Oh, it's Madeline Nisley, 732 West Lakewood Road.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay, what happened was I got severely ill, and I ended up in Cleveland Clinic, and I've been being treated by them. They've got me down as critically ill and on the transplant list. In the meanwhile, I grew up in a house 18 blocks away, and my sister was taking care of my property and taking care of me and taking me back and forth to Cleveland Clinic. And I got so ill that I went to stay with a friend in Delray, which was closer to all my, I had to go to the hospital once a month to have procedures, have my drain, my liver once a month. So I was staying in Delray. When in the meanwhile, my sister was taking care of the property, and her across the street neighbor, who is the guy that took care of her property, she also has a 1920s house. And he was coming over and doing the yard, and she was mailing him checks out of my account. And he told me he was going over there every 2 weeks to do the yard work. But in the meanwhile, the guy that lived across the street in the apartment building, he held a knife up to his parents' throat, and they Baker acted him, and they left him there, and he was staying right next to the apartment building. I have all kinds of arrest reports from when the cops have been to my property, and they have arrested him. I was constantly there. The neighbors were calling the police. He took both of my sheds in my backyard and everything that I owned. I had a bicycle built for 2, lawn mowers, 2 sheds full of stuff. My ex-husband was a contractor, so he had, all his stuff in there, and threw this in my swimming pool. And he was ripping down my fence and kept ripping down my fence. He ripped down all my palm trees. He ripped down all my cactus, and he kept doing this, and the police kept coming out, and they'd arrest him. They'd let him go the next day, and then he'd come back. And the guy that was taking care of my yard was threatened by him because he came one day to do the yard work, and this guy said in Spanish, they both spoke Spanish, that he was going to do something to him coming on my property. And so eventually I had 2 of my friends from the American Legion come over, and they started taking care of repairing the fence. We repaired the fence 3 times because this guy kept ripping it down. I've got pictures of where we put the new fence in, then pictures of it where the new fence came out, put the new fence in. It took us literally 4 months to get everything out of that swimming pool. Finally, we got it all out. My friends all pitched in to help me because I'm on Social Security disability, and drained everything I had in my savings to get that pool cleaned out. I mean, I have pictures of the pool was filled to the top. She was there helping me. Thank God. She's the one that takes me to all my doctor's appointments and hospital appointments and surgeries and all that. And finally, he went to the neighbor's house next door to where he was staying, and they threatened him and told him, if you ever come back again, I'm going to kill you. And that was the end of that. So that was about close to a year ago that he quit terrorizing my property. But we had to have, he broke windows, he kicked in my garage door, and I'm trying to get well and deal with all this stuff, and thank God for my friends trying to help me, repair all this stuff, because and the second notice when I was supposed to go to court, I didn't show up because I never got the notice. He threw all of my mail and the mailbox in the pool. I no longer even have a mailbox there, so I never even know I had a court date. And that was the reason I didn't show up for that court date, because I had no clue I was supposed to be at court. And then I found out somehow, I think my sister told me you were supposed to go to court, and I said, I didn't know, because I never got that notice. But we worked so hard. I drained my whole, I worked at the last restaurant for 28 years. I was a waitress and bartender there, and I spent my whole savings repairing this fence, getting this pool cleaned out, trying to get, and finally this guy quit terrorizing my property. And now I plan on selling the house. Her and I and my other friend have been cleaning out the house. I hope to have the house sold in 3 months. We're almost finished cleaning out all the, stuff in the house. I've been sending it to the veterans, and I can't do it anymore. I don't have it in me. I'm sick, and I can't deal with this anymore. But it wasn't my fault that my property got terrorized like this. We tried so hard. Like I said, I have all the paperwork from all the police reports when they've been there and arrested him and everything. I don't know what else I could do.
Okay. Thank you for that. Remind me what the nature of the violations were on the case that you walked on.
That case number CE 040-50674.
Yeah.
That was cited for landscape maintenance, outdoor storage, trash and debris, inoperative vehicle fence repair, and paint needed to the exterior structure.
Okay. Does the city have any final testimony you want to put on the record?
No, sir.
All right. Is there anything else, ma'am, that you want to put on the record? Have you told me everything you need to? Okay.
I have pictures if you'd like to see. I have all the reports if you'd like to see them.
No, I'm not retrying the case. That's not the point of today's hearing. What the things that I look at in considering the request. Well, I guess I do have a, what are you, so what, tell me what you're asking. You want to know what the amounts are, the city put that in the
As
record?
little as you can do. I mean, like I said, I'm living on Social Security disability, and I'm staying in my friend's condo, and, you know, I'm just paying the HOA there and the FPL bill.
Okay. So,
But I do plan on selling that house. It's almost cleaned out, and I already have a buyer.
you know, in my mind, there are things that, there are a list of criteria that I'm required to consider as the magistrate in making a decision, in a request for a reduction like this. And, you know, in favor of reducing the lien, there, you know, you've explained there are factors that show a hardship. You've explained your health situation and what was going on. And you know, the 2023 case with the overgrowth, and even the case that we walked on with basically minimum property standard stuff, I don't consider those to be excessively grave violations. They're sort of run-of-the-mill. But I will tell you that in sitting in this chair, there is not a more grave violation that anybody can commit than an unsecured swimming pool. I have no patience and no tolerance. Nobody has ever given me a reason to show any kind of consideration for an unsecured pool.
It just took me months to get it cleaned out.
If you're going to have a pool in South Florida, there's too many stories of people falling in and drowning, and quite frankly, the photograph that I saw there, you would never know if a child fell into that mess and went under. You wouldn't know. Thank God nothing happened, but you know, I'm going to reduce the number in all three cases, but you know, guarantee it's not as much as you would like, especially not in the case with the pool. So, in case that the 2023 case that ends in case number 0409, that's a $22,000 lien. I'm going to reduce that to $2,000, which is less than 10%. In the case we walked on, the 2004 case that ends in 0674, that's a $6,850 lien. I'm going to reduce that to $1,000. But in the 2022 case that ends in 0230, I'm going to reduce it, but I'm going to reduce it to $10,000. Which is even more than the city asked for. Again, I have no tolerance, and I appreciate your personal circumstances, but you don't get to have a swimming pool and have it unsecured, and then you know, if it comes in front of me, that's how I handle those. So, 10,000, 2,000, and 1,000. I'll give you 6 months to pay those before they revert back, and I will sign those orders. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do I need some paperwork?
Case number 14, CE 191-10325. Case address 4300 Spruce Avenue. We have two cases, would be 14 and 15. And the other case number is CE 231-00903. Case address 4300 Spruce Avenue as well.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. Excuse me. For agenda item 14, case number CE 19110325. This case was originally cited November 23rd of 2019. This was a building case. They were cited for work done without permits. I guess there was an interior remodel that was done there. This case went to a special magistrate hearing September 16th of 2020. It was ordered for the fine to start as of October 16th, 2020. This ran for 1,349 days at $100 a day for a total of $134,900 and was complied June 26th of 2024. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting in regular mail. This was done under the previous owner, who is the applicant for the lien reduction today. 5 cases under their ownership with code enforcement. So the city requests a reduction to 25% of the lien, which would be $33,725. For agenda item 15, case number CE 231-00903. This case was originally cited October 23rd of 2023. They were cited for rental license required, as well as certificate of use and address characters needed on the structure. This went to a special magistrate hearing January 17th of 2024. It was ordered for the fine to start as of May 17th, 2024. This ran for 164 days at $200 a day for a total of $32,800 and was complied October 28th of 2024. Service in this case was achieved also by way of posting in regular mail. Again, previous owner, the applicant of the lien reduction here before us today. 5 cases under their ownership with code enforcement. So the city requests a reduction of 25% of this lien, which would be $8,200.
And both of these are prior, the violations were under a prior owner.
Correct. It's a new owner as of today. But this is the applicant of that.
Right.
She represents the applicant that caused the violations.
But we have a new owner now.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead and put your name and address into the record, and then the floor is yours.
Sure. My name is Karen Anise, and I'm the presenting the address of 4300 Spruce Avenue.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. Actually, there needs to make a correction. It's still the same owner. It's just that the owner switched the names from the LLC to his personal name.
Okay.
All right. So I would consider that the same owner.
Still the same owner. I just want to make sure that was the truth.
Okay.
To be honest,
Thank you for that
I
clarification.
didn't want to represent something that wasn't.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
Sure. So this case, actually, I've been handling it since day one. I know it doesn't reflect as good, but I want to explain to you why. We were doing work to the property when my client bought it to do renovations, but it was a like for like. We were replacing kitchen cabinets, flooring, and bathroom tiles and so forth. There was no major for that work that needed to be done. We did pull permits on everything else that was independent, like roof, plumbing, roof, windows, driveway, even fence, and AC. The reason of all this happening and not being able to be complied in time was because when we pulled the first permit to try to get this done and in compliance, we weren't approved because our plans showed 2 units. And so
showed what?
2 units as a duplex, because it is a duplex.
Yep.
But then they came back and said by zoning that we were not approved to be 2 units. And we were shocked because when we purchased the property, it was set up as a duplex. It has 2 addresses. It has 2 mailboxes. It has 2 meters. So going back and forth through time trying to figure this out, we couldn't. Records didn't have anything. It just kept getting stopped. And when I spoke to one of the code enforcers when we did the plan, they said, just make a drawing, make a design, and we'll present it, which I did. We had the first GC present everything, but it wasn't approved. We couldn't figure out how to get this done. The second time that we tried to figure this out with a new GC, because that permit expired, and we just couldn't find the information through records. we did pull another permit reflecting electrical plumbing so that we could, in essence, reflect that there were 2 units to see if we can get that approved. And that again came back denied because zoning wouldn't allow us to be a duplex. Then on the second violation that was shown in, it said that we needed to comply with numbers and lettering for the addresses and rental license. I do have actual records of all my licenses. The only license that we couldn't get was the city because, again, I'm a duplex for a multi-property and we couldn't get that license approved. Finally, through working with Sandy Mills, we were able to figure out that archives we requested archives, and in there, lo and behold, we found the permit that back in 1971, the house was approved and grandfathered in as a duplex.
Yeah.
And immediately with that, guess what? Everything was, all of a sudden approved. So my last permit went in, but this all took time because unfortunately, just through everything, no matter what I did, what I presented, it just took time. It wasn't as fast as you wanted to. It was one thing, it was another, and I couldn't get whether the city or things to work in line to submit this. Finally, we did get it complied. It's been complied since July of last year, but it took us until this time, as you can see, to get it to this hearing because it was always something that would come up in order to clear it. But I have the copies of those archives when we finally were able to get that to show it. I do have copies of all the permits of the licenses that I could get for the rentals, like the state license and everything else that I could. We did try to do it, but my hands were tied, not because we didn't want to comply, but because we couldn't. When I pulled the last permit, when I brought the building inspector and I showed him what work we did, and I said, please just let us know what you need us to pull permit on because I didn't see what we did. We actually already had permits from 2004 and 8 of the updating of the electrical and plumbing that was done on the property prior to us having the property. And there was none. That's why there's no electrical or plumbing permit that was pulled. It was never needed. So I was being fined. We were being fined every day for something that we technically never needed, but we did do it to comply. So we did pay for 4 times the fees. We paid for 2 sets of GCs to come out and do the plans and pay them. So we have spent money to get this done. And just what I'm asking is to be able to reduce this because it wasn't something that we were neglectful. We just couldn't. Because zoning wasn't allowing something that we already knew we did. We were just trying to figure out how to prove it without having to demo a property.
Right.
After all that work was done and approved, because we pulled permits for the ACs, and there's 2 plans. It shows the plans, and that was approved, and the ACs were replaced. And I'm like, how can you approve that but not approve us as a duplex? So we would, it's kind of like we kept chasing each other to figure this out.
Okay. The city, anything you wanted to put into the record in response? Okay.
We're checking one thing.
Okay. Check away.
Hopefully we don't have to go back to 1971.
I have it. I have the record here if you need it.
Yeah, if you want to show it to.
Yep. Well, that's the only reason that we couldn't be here. It's because we complied, and the only way to comply was through this. Do I give it to? This was found in archives. That's the approval that we are a duplex. And then I have also the fence back in 1962, and then I have all of the updating permits of the electrical and plumbing that were pulled in 2008 and 2004.
Say that again.
The permits for the updating of the electrical panels and the plumbing in 2008 and 2004. Okay. That's why we didn't pull any permits because everything was already updated.
Gotcha.
So I have those too if you want to see those, because those you won't find. Those were all in archives.
Right. Well, usually go ahead.
And the fact that you found something.
It was a miracle because I was at my last rope. The owner was blaming me for everything. I go, I don't know. I can't. I don't know what to do.
I suspect that you weren't even around in 1972.
82, 10 years later.
I was 4.
So what are we saying?
A-N-I-S-E. A-N-I-S-E. Sure.
So you realize somebody had to sit at a typewriter with this form and
One by one, I can only imagine. Yeah, it was amazing what was in there. It's just, to me, it didn't make sense.
May I inquire, Special Magistrate, please, when were you advised by the city that, or when did the city concede that you were in fact a duplex based on the 1971 permit?
Right when we were able to comply, which was last year. Back in July, right before July. I could look through my text messages, and it was actually through what's her name? No, I forgot. Her name is the tip of my tongue. We sent her copies of everything, and we sent it to the building department. And as soon as that was done, then our permit was finally approved. Our last permit was approved. Because that was the only holdup that we had on the permits with zoning.
And did I hear you say that there was work actually, which I guess caused the initial citation? There was work being done without permit, correct?
None to my knowledge that require permit, but yet we still, when we got the notifications, pulled it just to comply and see. Because we were doing is we pulled permits for AC, we pulled permits for windows, but all that stuff was pulled. None of that work was being initiated prior to the work being done without a permit. Windows hasn't started. We pulled permits on the windows. We have all that.
The pics seem to show that, and usually that's how it goes. Trust me, the city has a lot of code violations.
I understand.
Making any
I understand.
But it seemed like there was work being done prior to permits being secured. They may have been applied for.
They've been applied.
But maybe they had not been secured. But I don't know.
Now, we did get that fine, and we did pay that fine, that 4 times fine on that. But like I said, all that, the thing that hinged and couldn't get the permits approved was the fact that.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. That's June 2023.
Yeah, they didn't close it. The GC that pulled it never closed this permit. I came to close them after. I thought they were all closed, but I closed them after. Once we realized that they were still open, I came and closed them, and that's why I required a re-inspection of things to close them out. A lot of the permits remained open.
I mean, I think it's safe to say that there was work being done without a permit. Now, to rectify it, we may concede that, yes, that took some time, but I don't know if we're starting at zero. I mean, I think there was some violations being done.
Right, and we did rectify them as quick as possible to get everything done, but we couldn't comply. We couldn't get the completion.
No, I understand.
The date set back when it would have been done if it wasn't because we were We
No, I
couldn't get it
understand.
from zoning. That's the problem that we had on everything. So that's why kind of everything went cold. And I couldn't figure out how. We know records didn't have it. It wasn't until literally.
But we understand fully,
that-
and you've totally thoroughly explained. The issue I'm saying, and I may be wrong, that we're not going to, there has been some violation. Now, whether it's a year, 2 years, but there was some violation that initiated the case.
Right, there was work that was being done, but like I said, we pulled the permits. I don't know, I mean, they came and they took pictures of the progress of the property was being done. I don't know when it was done, but we did pull and submit permits on everything. Like, there's pictures there of the roof, but the roof was done years later and there was no work on the roof.
Do we have a number?
Say again?
Do we have a number that we want to recommend to them?
I did already, 25%.
Oh, now that, given the information that we have gotten since, is what I'm saying.
So I guess we'll present 15% magistrate then into that, for that case, which will be $20,235.
All right, so based on everything that we just talked about, the city's revised its recommendation to a reduction of 85%, which would be $20,235 on the 2019 case and just under $5,049.20 to be exact on the 2023 case. So let me put it back in your court and let you respond.
Thank you. I mean, I understand that. I understand that there was fines done. My point, it keeps going back, is that I would have not had an issue getting this rectified as quickly so that that amount or any of that would have rang as long as it did and incur those large amount of fines. Like, you know, even getting dates or people to come out to inspect took forever, even hounding them. So I know that we can't dismiss the case, and we do accept that there were things that were done and the proper permits weren't pulled. I had offered to do this at 5%. Because, I mean, we've already spent 4 times the fees. We had to spend 2 sets of plans to get them redone, paid for all of the city fees, all the permitting. I mean, we paid a lot to get it done. And I'm just hoping that would be okay with you guys, because it was so much time, but nothing that we couldn't control this. Even though the records were there, just were not there to help us to be able to achieve our approval.
Okay. So we have 2 case numbers with 2 liens. Here's what, based on everything I've heard and reviewed and the lien reduction criteria that's in the city's code. The 2019 case ending in 0325, the current lien is $134,900. I'm going to reduce that to $7,000. The 2023 case ending in 0903 has a $32,800 lien. I'm going to reduce that to $3,000. So that's a total of 10. Can you pay that within the next 30 days?
Yes, I'll make sure the
Do you
client.
need a little bit more time than that?
Can we do 60 just in case? I don't know
60
his
days?
finance. Yeah, that would probably.
60 days, so ordered. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. I appreciate everything.
Is this
Thank you.
a copy, is the city able to
You can
keep that
have it.
for its files?
I have it saved on my files.
Very good. Thank
but
you very much.
I think the city already has that. Thank you.
Okay, if I'm following along correctly, we've concluded all the business on our agenda. Is there anything else for the good of the order before we adjourn? It's 12:20, pardon me? No, 12:26 up there, 12:25 down here. Either way, we are adjourned.